Knicks and bruises, we are back. Shout out to the chat. Yo, Black, it's time. I got my guy Simi in the building, Tony Crow in the building. We're gonna talk some Knicks stuff. Couple questions I want to ask Sim. Guess we call it quick hits with Sim again.
Yeah, no doubt.
Um, what's good with you, Sim, man?
I'm chilling, man. You know what I'm saying? Had a, nice couple of days, you know. But I'm chilling. I feel good.
You deserve it. Sometimes we gotta take a break and re-energize and get back focused. Playoffs is coming. Gotta
Yeah,
get that playoff mindset.
yeah. No doubt.
Um, Shout out to the chat. Like I said, deepest team in the league. We've been talking behind the scenes. Pardon the tardiness. We get into these talks and get carried away. But the Knicks, man. I, I asked you. We're gonna talk about it. I think we the deepest team in the league,
I think so too.
and I mean, you got some arguments out there. Like I said, Denver last year, I think they were considered the deepest team in the league. I don't think they're as deep as they were last year. I
Hmm.
do think certain guys on their team have stepped up and taken bigger roles, but I think they lost some of their depth. If before we get into why we think the Knicks are, is there any argument for another team out there, or are we being homers?
I mean, of course, people are gonna mention the Boston, right? They're kind of top heavy, but they're still kind of deep too.
Yep,
Um,
I mentioned the Celtics.
right.
I'm sorry, the Clippers.
The Clippers, right? The Clippers are a deep team. Um, I mean, I don't know about Denver. But I still I don't think other teams have as many players that we have that can give you 20 on any night,
And
25 on any night, 30 on any night. You know what I mean? I just
yeah,
don't think other teams have that. I mean, Dante DiVincenzo gave you 40 the other night. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
See, the biggest part for me, why I always keep going back to the Knicks when I keep trying to figure out, are we truly the deepest team in the league, is when I look at these other teams, how many of them have been tested? How many other teams depth have been tested? You know what I mean? Like, I could have said this earlier in the year or whatever the case, but I'm going off the proof. The guys going down, the guys stepping up, the guys being out of rotation, coming into the rotation and being effective. You know what I mean? Like, so, like a Boston, I think they won a couple games with Tatum out, or I think they won a big game with what I mean, their main guys rested, but that was a game. I don't remember Jason Tatum missing 5 games, 10 games. I don't remember Jalen Brown missing 5 games, 10 games. So that when I talk about the depth, to me, that's part of it. And some of their depth hasn't been tested. You know what I mean? Like, you talk about their top five, their top seven. Yeah, they're deep in there. But if they miss a guy, if they miss two guys, do they have two guys that could come in and fill in the role and step in their place and kind
Right.
of fill in the production?
Right.
And that's where I feel like our depth is. I don't know if any other team has that.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, when fully healthy, the versatility of this team, offensively and defensively, guys that, like you said, stepping into a role and can give you major production. I just can't see it that teams have. I just can't see it
What teams have dealt with the most adversity,
this
excluding us?
season.
Yeah,
This season,
obviously,
I think. Oh,
Grizzlies number one, and
right.
they didn't overcome that.
Yeah.
Um, Cleveland, right? They had a large stretch where they performed, where Mobley went down, where Jared Allen went down, Donovan carried them, Garland had his moments, but now with Mitchell out, they kind of faltered a little. I think he's back tonight. So that's what I mean. You know what I mean? Like they dealt with some adversity and kind of sustained themselves, but it wasn't to the level of us. And it wasn't multiple guys stepping in and filling in. It was really like Mitchell carrying them.
Right. 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 And for a stint, Brunson carried us too.
Hmm.
Right. For a stint, he carried us, but there was always pieces filling in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, right now you're looking at it and he's not carrying us. It's other guys carrying or playing a big part in carrying the Knicks. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
I meant to mention this on your show. Just a few minutes ago. I totally forgot. But quiet 26 from Brunson last game.
Right. Right.
Like it didn't feel like 26. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not like he played bad at all, but it was just quiet. Like other guys were doing so much that you didn't even like. I didn't even realize Brunson had 26. You know what I mean? Like if I would have looked and it said 19, 20, 22, I wouldn't have been surprised because
Right.
it didn't feel like, you know what I mean? Like it didn't feel like he carried us.
Right.
Like,
No, it didn't. It didn't because so many guys. I mean, when you go down the list, and this go to 145 points. When you go down the list of the box score, everybody and their mother was scoring. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was scoring. Bogdanovich had 18. Achua had 19.
mm,
Hartenstein had 15. DiVincenzo had 16. You know what I'm saying? And then Deuce had 29, leading the Knicks, and then Brunson had 26.
what do you have? Like 18 in the first, Deuce?
Deuce?
Yeah.
Let me see. Deuce had 18 18 in the first quarter.
Mm. Like, but that's what I mean. So I think, I mean, we probably revisit this at the end of the year just to kind of solidify it. But I really do think we are the deepest team in the league. I seen Jay Williams said maybe Denver. I think it's a fair argument. After this starting five, I know they got a young boy that's doing his thing that they kind of came out of nowhere, a rookie or a second year player. I know they got Brown, who's I think a second year player. Who else is there though? Who else is on that second unit? It's two young. I know it's two young guys, Brown and I think the other one's a big, but I can't think. I know they lost Bruce Brown. They lost the journeyman that kind of helped them out
Who?
from Georgetown. He's been in the league like 15 years.
I can't think of who it is. I don't know. Probably, I don't know. But
Used to be a Celtic. Green.
Green. Yeah. He's from DC. Yeah. Kevin Durant's boy. Jeff
Yes.
Green. Jeff
Jeff
Green.
Green.
Jeff Green. Yeah, I mean
Reggie
Denver
Jackson.
definitely
Yeah,
lost.
they got Reggie Jackson too.
Yeah, they've definitely lost. They got DeAndre Jordan now too. Yeah, but they've lost some of their. They're not as deep as they were. They've lost some of their depth. No, man, I think you're right. I don't think there's another team that's as deep as the Knicks. Just like overall, I mean, right now the Knicks have Josh Hart in the starting lineup. He would normally be a bench player for the Knicks. Deuce in the starting lineup would normally be a bench player for the Knicks, right? You see what Deuce did last night. Josh Hart's been dropping triple doubles all season long, as a starter. The Knicks are the third team in the Eastern Conference with these players as starters. You know what I'm saying? Um, they, you know, Deuce is going to go back to the bench. Josh Hart is going to go back to the bench. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to bring in players that Julius Randle is obviously an All NBA player, and then OG. You know, who
All
knows?
defensive
You know,
player.
all defensive player. You know, and then Deuce and Josh Hart are going to go back to the bench with more experience playing with each other. And then on that bench, you got Bogdanovich. Now you got Mitchell Robinson on the bench. You got Precious Achiuwa down there. Yeah, this team is mad deep.
Yeah, and even like for more perspective, yeah, Bogdanovich is a legit starter the most of his career. You know what I
Right.
mean?
A
Now
legit
he's
20-point
in a
scorer.
reserved bench role. You know what I mean? Like a uh, uh, uncertain bench role where he is now on this team. So like you got, and then on the flip side, you look at where Deuce started, right? As a situational, you know, point guard to now like solidifying himself. So you got guys who rose from the bottom. You got guys that was at the top, sacrificing. You know what I mean? Like you, it's just. I mean, we this is a perfect segue, I guess. Like because this team, the way it's built, is structured. Is this team better than the '94 team, the '99 team, the last two Knicks teams that went to the finals? I'm saying yes. I have reasons why, but what do you say, Sim?
Oh man, it's so hard me to. It's hard for me to. I don't know. Um, the '94 team was great defensively, but offensively they couldn't. You know, they
This
struggled
team,
to score. Right?
this team ain't that shabby
This team's
defensively.
offense can be is you know we've seen times where this team struggled to score, but we've seen times like uh last night where they drop 145 points. Right? This team is definitely deeper, in my opinion. Um, they might be better than that '94 team. They really might be better than that '94 team. If you know,
Here's
there were
what I
styles of play between now and then. Obviously, right? Things were more geared towards playing inside. Now things are more geared towards playing outside. So there's a difference in play. You
mhm.
know, slower pace back then. But this team would probably run circles around that team because of the pace of the game. I ain't
and
gonna
and this team is capable of like this team most resembles defensively that team.
right.
Like when you talk about under 100 points,
Yeah.
under 90 points, under 80 points. Like we haven't seen that in how many years? And the last time we seen that consistently was 94, the 90s. You know what I mean? Holding teams to below 100 points, but below 90 points. So we could I think we could match them defensively. And as you said, run circles around them offensively. And part of that is because I feel like that team was maybe just past this peak. If now when I say that though, if I'm gonna give that 94 team an advantage, is they've been through the gauntlet already. That 94 team, right? They went through the battles, they went through the rivalries, you know what I mean? Having to get through Miami, having to get through Indiana, never getting through the Bulls, you know what I mean? Like, but they went through those stages of, you know what I mean? What we're currently going through.
Right.
First round exit, getting to the
Right.
second round, making it a fight. You know, this year I think we making that next step. So
So
that team had already went through that. So the maturity of that team
right.
might have, you know what I mean, might have been a better. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Was Tom Thibodeau? Tom Thibodeau's on that team, right?
Hmm.
'94.
Hmm.
So which team is Tom Thibodeau on? If they were to play,
Mm.
Tom Thibodeau has to be on today's team, right? And how
Yes,
much of
because
an
he's the head
impact,
coach.
because he's the head coach, and how much of an impact does it have on that team defensively? If just hypothetically, if they were playing each other, hypothetically, Tom Thibodeau has to be on one team.
He's on this one, and
He's on
Jeff
it.
Van Gundy, his,
Jeff Van
you know what I
Gundy is the
mean?
head coach on that one. That means you take him off that team. How much
Mm, I
does
see what you're
his
saying.
lack of presence on that team impact the defense? I ain't even gonna say the offense, but impact the defense over there.
I'm gonna give him
Like
I'm
before.
gonna I'm gonna give Jeff Van Gundy his his props still, that they would still be, you know what I mean, in that realm defensively, because of his philosophy moving forward, you know what I mean, in with the Knicks and in other places. You know what I mean? He maintained the defensive philosophy, you know, when he wasn't with
Actually, it was
Tibbs as
Pat
well.
Riley. It was Pat Riley was the coach.
Oh, Pat Riley was the coach.
Yeah, yeah. Big
Interesting.
shout out
That's right.
Jay
Appreciate that.
Williams. It was
Ooh, that makes things even interesting.
and Jeff Van Gundy was the coach in '99.
99. You're right. That makes things even more interesting.
Right.
Because that does I'm gonna flip the question to you. Does Thibodeau have the advantage, the coaching advantage
Now,
at
see,
that
that's a
point?
tough one, right? Because Riley is a hell of a coach. I mean,
Motivator, everything.
Showtime Lakers to the pound and
Gritty.
ground Knicks, right? The gritty
Mm,
ground and pound Knicks. You know what I'm saying? And he it's not like because if you remember, like the Knicks were trying to play different styles before Pat Riley, right? Up tempo, shooting the
yeah,
ball, all of this.
yeah.
I'm saying, they had what's his name over there? Well, maybe he came after Pat Riley. I don't remember. But they were trying to play, that a faster pace, and Pat Riley came in and said, "No, this is the style that this team needs to play." He didn't
Hmm.
even try to replicate what he did in LA. This is the style that this team needs to play, and obviously it was successful. You know what I'm saying? Tom Thibodeau was part of that. I would say the defense probably stays the same, given it's Pat Riley. You know what I mean? Because like he designed that blueprint for that team. I think.
Who was it? I had it up
So
there. Oh,
so
Kevin
Tibbs,
Berkey.
okay,
He said,
so
What
maybe Tibbs
what
wasn't on
rules
that
we using?"
before.
Yeah,
Maybe
I was just thinking that too. Because I remember him under Van Gundy. Not I don't
right,
remember him under.
right.
I remember Van Gundy under Riley.
Van Gundy, yeah, it was Van Gundy under Riley. Van Gundy took over for Riley, and then Tom Thibodeau came and was
Under
with
Van Gundy.
yeah, under Van Gundy. There we go. So yeah, so you didn't have to worry about that. Tibbs would just be boom coaching this team here. You have to worry about that in '99.
Yes.
What was he there in '99?
Yes.
He was with the Knicks in '99.
I'm pretty sure he was. Him and Mike Malone, right?
Let me see. Tibbs. I think he
Or
was with.
was he in Chicago?
Let's see. 1999. I'm looking it up now. 99, 2000 Knicks. They say.
Kevin Berger said, not even close. Pat where coach circles around
Oh,
Tibbs in any era.
yeah. He was with the Knicks. He was an assistant coach with the Knicks. He was with the Knicks from '96 to 2003.
Okay.
Yep.
Um. So what rules we playing with? I think that's a good question too. I didn't even think about that. But if we're doing what we're doing defensively with today's defensive rules, wouldn't our defense get better with the old defensive rules?
Yeah. I think our defense will get better, but with our offense,
Be able to, I mean,
because
Brunson.
because
He a dog. He
now we're
could play in
talking
that era.
hand checking, a little bit more hand checking. Um, so our offense may not be as prolific, but it would still be better, I think. If we're
I
playing
agree.
with the old rules and the old style, yeah, that's the thing. I think you have to take today's style versus that style because if we're playing, but I'll say this: if we're playing with the old style, like Julius Randle can bang in the post too.
Mhm. Brunson would be fine.
Brunson
You know what
would
I
be
mean?
fine.
He take a beating already, so
You know what I'm saying? So it'd be a little bit different, and then you'd have Mitch to match up with Ewing, I Heart to match up with Ewing. Not that they're gonna stop him, but to make it tough.
I think we crush 94 team. I think this team crushes the 94 team.
Yeah, I think
I
so too.
honestly think, when we gonna move on to the 99 team. I think that's a bigger challenge.
They were more versatile.
They you know what I mean?
They were more to today's
They're
type of team.
yeah, they're closer to today's offense, but still maintain that same mentality defensively from 94. You know what I mean? So I think that would be a closer challenge for us. Now you talking about matchups with, Randall, LJ, you got Spreewell and OG. You got you got um Houston and Deep Chest. You know what I mean? Like these are more close closer style, closer matchups. I love that 99 team. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I thought we were gonna win both of them, but that 99 team gave me hope for the future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Similar to this team right now. It's not even just about this year. It's about the sustainability. And that's the other reason why I think the 99 team, the 94 team was at its peak already. You know what I mean? Like they were kind of on their way out. You know what I mean? Their window was closing. That 99 team, it looked like it was a whole new window. I thought
Yeah.
we was gonna have years to come with,
Right.
Canby, Spreewell, Houston,
Houston.
LJ. You know what I mean? Like we was bringing in rookies at that time. You know what I mean? We had draft picks.
And and it was crazy. I mean, obvious, at that time the game wasn't fully changing. The game was in transition to what we see now, I think. Kind of in transition.
Mhm.
The Knicks were kind of up on that transition,
Yeah,
but there was
above
still
the
some
curve.
mindset of the older style of play, you know what I'm saying? And it made it a tough mix. You know what I'm saying? And then the Knicks, got Allen Houston's contract and then injuries and all of that kind of stuff kind of. And the Knicks had got caught in a area in a they got caught in a time where you had Spreewell and LJ and Houston, and they were trying to do yes, maybe so, Jarrell. Maybe so. Maybe so. Maybe so. Maybe so.
My only, like I want to say yes so bad, but then I keep imagining Richie Robinson jumping all over the place trying to guard trying to guard Elijah Watt. But we just double him. You know what I mean? We just double him.
I mean,
That team had too much pride to double Elijah Watt with Hewan down there.
I mean, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. And the Knicks just have you had John Starks that was a shooter, shooting threes. And then what's it called was on the team too that could shoot threes. Baby Jordan. Dang, can't
Um,
think of his name from North Carolina. Can't think of his name right now, but Pat Riley
Hubert
didn't.
Davis.
Hubert Davis, right? Pat Riley didn't put him in.
Yeah, he
He
sure
trusted
didn't.
John Starks. He probably should have put Hubert Davis in, but he trusted John Starks.
That's because the other game, John Starks put us on his
I
back.
know, I know, I know. I get it.
Uh,
I know. Um, but the Knicks got way more shooters
now, right?
now. Way more. Obviously, the game is different now, but way more shooters than they did then. You know what I mean? And the Knicks would have shot that Houston Rockets team out. I think. Gerard, I think they beat them.
All right, a couple questions, and then I'm gonna just close it out real quick. 9014. Who guards Randall?
Probably Oakley. Probably Charles Oakley.
Okay. So who guards Anthony Mason
Knicks.
on our Knicks?
Our Knicks.
Oh,
I
are you
mean,
putting Randall on Mason, or are you putting Randall on Oakley?
I'm putting Randall. I'm probably putting Randall on Mason.
And OG on
You know
Oakley?
what I'm saying? And yeah, because Mason was more versatile than Oakley. Oakley was really just going to get the little kick out mid range jump shot and then grab rebounds and play defense. You know what I'm saying?
So,
Mason was more versatile. So, I
so
mean,
you should put OG on Mason and
oh, yeah,
Randall
I guess you could,
on
yeah,
Oakley.
I guess you could put OG on Mason and Randall on Oakley. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Keep thinking about, I forgot for a second about OG, but yeah.
And then I think 19 you do the matchup straight like it is. You know what I mean? Guard for guard, 2 for 2, 3 for 3. Like, I think you got to put OG on Spreewell. Or you may put OG on. Yeah, you may put OG on Houston.
You might have to do that too. If you
Now
put OG
granted,
Houston,
that's still a tough guard for Spreewell and DiVincenzo. You
yeah.
might have to have Hart in there too. You might have to make a substitution and put Hart on Spreewell or something. But I say all this to say I feel like this team is championship bound. Like, let me pull up these numbers I got here. Oh, my bad. Wrong one. Well, number one, we're top 10 in offense and defense as of right now. That's one of them criterias, right? For them championship contending teams. Or if you look at the teams who have won the championship over the last however many years, I think only one team wasn't top 10 offense and defense.
Say that again.
I said, like, in the last 10 years, I think only one team that won the championship wasn't in the top 10 in offense
Right.
and defense. Right now, we, what, 7th in defense? 10 in offense? All right, my bad. I found them. Yeah, 10th in offense, 7th in defense. As I've been saying all year, we beaten the teams that we supposed to beat. So, was it 23-2 teams under 500? We only lost 2 games to teams under 500.
Right.
One of them was Utah, I believe. who at that time just went on a streak of beating a bunch of top teams in the league. Like, you know what I mean? They got hot when we lost to them. I forget who the other one was. Um 13 wire to wire victories where
Mm.
you know what I mean, we never trailed in the game and it was only tied at 0-0. That's best in the league. Going into the game, going into the fourth quarter with the lead, I think we only lost once. And that lead was maybe 6 points. Um 40-3 when leading by 10 points at any point.
Mm-hmm.
If we got a 10-point lead in the game, whether it's the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, if we get a 10-point lead, we've only lost 3 games
Right.
and won 40 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, these are all tell signs that we are elite.
Yeah. But okay, so these wins or us being up 10, like who's on the team at those times? Because this team has changed so dramatically from the beginning of the season.
I mean, if it's 40-3, that's including everybody's time. You know what I mean? Like, because that's a large sample size.
Right.
43 games. You know what I mean? Shoot, the least the I guess the smallest guy, not the guy who's least a part of that percentage would be Mitchell Robinson because he missed 50 games.
He missed 50 games.
So other than Mitchell Robinson, everybody pre-trade, post-game, but anytime we had a 10-point lead, 40-3, I don't care who was part of it. Like, that's remarkable.
Yeah. Nah, no doubt. That is remarkable.
You-
I'm just wondering when the 3 losses came.
Oh, when they came,
Right. You know.
I mean, I'm not sure, but we know none of them came in the fourth quarter because the one time we lost the fourth quarter lead, it wasn't a 10-point lead, or at least to start the fourth quarter, it
Right.
wasn't. It was 6. You know what I mean? So, I mean, what we're doing is we're literally taking care of business. You know what I mean? Whether it's just the bottom feeders or it's one of those tough elite teams, just like as ourselves. If we get up, we not letting up. We not taking our foot off the gas. And as of recently, I'm gonna say since January, we've been really starting the game off hot. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
we putting the emphasis on not having to fight back. Not because even when we down, we fight back. You know what I mean? We go down 20, it ends up being a 6-point game at the end of the game.
Right.
And we
I mean,
add all that to the adversity that we've faced. I mean,
nah, I mean, I get it. I know. I know. I guess the thing between with us being we got a lot of great numbers, right? And it's been so far a really great season for the Knicks. Definitely a memorable season for the Knicks. I guess in comparison to those other teams is, the other competition that's out there. Obviously, 94 Knicks, the Bulls were no longer there. Um, they were, obviously best in the Eastern Conference. 99 Knicks. Um, they started off eighth, the eighth seed, made it out,
mhm,
made it to the championship.
no
Uh,
playing.
no playing. Right. No playing. Um, I would say the Knicks they have to go through tougher teams than the Bulls did in 94 and 99. I guess that would be the biggest difference, as far as them making it to the championship this year. Because you have a team in Boston that could be, like a great considered a great team, maybe. You know what I mean? Considered one of the greats. I don't know. So it's a little bit tougher what the Knicks have to go through now than what those teams did in 94, 99. I think the competition level, right? Because you got to go through the Milwaukee and Boston. Um, in the West, I mean, you got some super teams out there in the West with Denver and OKC now, and all of those teams, to win the championship. So it's definitely, I think it's a tougher path for this team to win the championship than those teams,
Hmm.
you know, or to get to the championship.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, uh, it depends on how you look at it, though, because like I was saying about that 94 team, I mean, not necessarily in 94, but prior to that, we had to build, you know what I mean, build our way past guys. You
Right,
know what I mean? We had
right,
rivalries that we had to we had to get through to kind of even get to the finals or the Eastern. Well, we've been to Eastern Conference, but to get to the finals. So maybe that particular year it might have been a tougher task, but the journey, you know what I mean? That's because that was the end of the journey for them. Like they went through they lumps, you know what I mean? They went through their adversity.
That's the thing about this team. That's the thing about this team. Because even Boston right now,
No adversity.
well, they have though. Right now, I mean, because this team, I mean, they added KP and they added Drew Holiday, but like the core of the team has been through, like,
Yes, yes.
they made it to the finals, lost, made it to the
Hmm.
Eastern Conference Finals, lost. You know what I'm saying? So they've been battling through and trying to get there.
No, I agree 100%. I meant this year.
Oh, this year,
You know what I
right?
mean? Like, and that's so you're 100% right. Like they've been through those wars. You know what I mean? Like Eastern Conference Finals, getting knocked out, boom. Like they've been through it. Like they took their lumps. You know what I mean? Like so they should be prime. Like they should be the favorites because
Right.
they went through the gauntlet already. So I agree with that. But as the team constructed this year, they don't know if they could win a series with such and such out or win a series with such and such having a bad game. You know what I mean? Like to me, they need Porzingis in addition to what they've already had. He's not gonna come in if Tatum has a bad series. Porzingis is not going to be the difference maker that gets them over the hump.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or God forbid, knock on wood, if somebody misses a series, I don't think they have the guy to step up and carry them over. You know what I mean? Where this team individually this season, we've been through the gauntlet in itself. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
in addition
No
to,
doubt about that.
you
We've
know,
been
3 years, you know what I mean, 30 years in the playoffs out of 4, you know what I mean, first round exit, first round win. Like so we're in the mix of the gauntlet in the long run, but in individual season wise, we've been through like as much adversity as you could probably imagine.
right.
And probably more than any playoff team. It's
Yeah.
very similar to like this is my last question because we agreed Boston, I mean, excuse me, um we didn't really like the Orlando matchup. We didn't really like the Pacer matchup, right? I've kind of changed my tune in the sense that now I'm not afraid of anybody, but the like Miami is the team that is kind of like, you know what I mean? Because
That's the team.
not necessarily this year, but last year they was going through that same kind of adversity things similar to us. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna say they believe in themselves the same way we believe in ourselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they think they could be anybody. You know what I mean? Like they just gotta get there.
Yeah.
So
That's the team. If you talk about the Knicks having to get through teams,
mhm,
that's the team,
yep.
right? That the Knicks probably gotta that's the team that not that they have to get through them to win a championship, but that's the team that is like the Pistons to the Bulls back in the day. You know what I mean? Or the Bulls to the Knicks back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the team that was like the big brothers that, like it's gonna boost your confidence when you
Yep.
knock them off. You got to get through Boston to get to the championship. There's no doubt about that. But for the
Mhm.
Knicks, like that might be the team that if they play them in the playoffs, it's like we gotta prove to ourselves that we can take this team out and Miami would probably have this superiority
Mhm.
complex over the Knicks where they feel like
Yep.
we'll beat them. You know what I'm saying? And the Knicks, and if the Knicks ended up playing, even at the third seed, if the Knicks ended up playing Miami in the first round, it would be a
Yep.
drag them out 7-game series. And the Knicks would have to beat them
Mhm.
to prove to themselves. Obviously, they'd have to beat them so they can move on. But like and I think the Knicks would, but that'd be one of those teams that they'd really have to beat. And it would be a battle in that first round. I think the Knicks would win it, and it would help the Knicks in the long run, but it would be a battle.
And I think there's a fair argument that you could say the Heat are that to numerous teams. Like you could say they're that to Boston. You know what I mean? You could say they're that to Philly. You could say you know what I mean? Like you could say that that to Milwaukee.
Right.
So considering again 2 finals in the past 3 years or whatever it is, like the way they did it, you know what I mean? Like coming from the play in to to get into the final. So yeah, I agree 100% with your sentiment that we beat them, especially first round. That could be a huge momentum builder, confidence builder, moving forward,
Yeah.
especially knowing what they done to some of these other teams. You,
Right.
you, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't know if it boosts the threat that the other team feels we are. Not that that really matters, you know what I mean? Because they may look at it as a relief, like, oh, they beat Miami. You know what I mean? They just went through the 7-game gauntlet of Miami. Oh, one, we happy we don't gotta face Miami because they probably looking at them the same way. And
Mhm.
now a team like Boston is now looking at they experience. They, you know what I mean, what they've gone through over these last 7. I mean, how many years Tatum's been in the league? 7. You know what I mean? They've had nice runs
Mm.
through that whole stretch.
Right.
So, um, Milwaukee, I'm not as afraid of. Um, Obviously, you got the hunger of Dame wanting to get his first one. You got the hunger of Giannis wanting to, what I mean, get back there and get his second one. But it doesn't seem like a good mesh. It doesn't seem like they really figured it out yet. And what I said earlier, when there's a doc, there's a way there's a way to lose. So I think I think he might be the true Achilles heel of that team. You know what I mean? Like even if they go up 3-1, you know what I mean? Like the confidence is not there 100% that you know what I mean, they're gonna close it out.
Right.
You get a second one, you know what I mean? They start losing a lot more confidence. You know what I mean? Like you bring it close in game 5, it's like, oh shoot, they might, you know what I mean? They might fall to that. So yeah, man, I think Miami. I mean, I wouldn't mind having to go through Miami and Boston. Like that 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 that
Yeah, that'd be tough. That'd be
it's
tough.
gonna be it's gonna be tough, but
I mean, if the
the
Knicks, I
gratification
tell you what,
behind
if
it.
the Knicks can get, they're gonna if they want to get to the championship, they got to go through Boston anyway. Most
Mhm.
likely, most likely. But for the Knicks, scenario for me is if they get that second seed. That's the best scenario for me, right? Because if they get the second seed, that means they play the seventh seed. That might mean that they play Miami,
Miami.
right? So that, that which is maybe a good thing though, right? Because I believe they can beat them, and I believe that sets them up. That sets their mindset up, right?
Hmm.
And then in the next round, to the second seed in the next round, they're probably playing the
Milwaukee.
fourth seed or the fifth seed, right? I guess the fourth, they're probably playing the third seed,
Yeah, the third seed.
right? So that could be Milwaukee, you know what I mean? Which is a tough matchup, you know what I'm saying? Or if Milwaukee slips, it could be Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? If
Which,
they advance, whoever advances, right? Uh,
which
but then
you
you deal
know,
with Boston but if you're the second seed, you're not dealing with Boston until the Eastern Conference Finals.
finals.
That's when I would
Second or third seed though.
That's
Second
true.
or third seed, you're not. So it's
Yeah.
really third
Yeah,
seed
that's
is,
right.
you know what I mean? It's really about home court advantage in the second
That's
round.
true. That's true. Yep, second or third seed. So you're not dealing with Boston until so yeah, I guess though either one of those two are the best scenarios, right? Are really good scenarios for the Knicks. Second or third seed, you're probably playing the same team that you would play, in the second round anyway, and you don't see Boston you get to that until you get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we can wrap it up, man. I just, I had to touch base with you because it's been a minute. I'm glad you're back. You know what I mean? Um, appreciate you, Sim, jumping on
I
with me.
appreciate it, man.
Like Jay Boogie said, the family. You know what I mean? Not the chat, the family, the MBK family.
No doubt.
Appreciate you guys checking in as well. Salute to y'all always. Um, Sim, I
No
guess we'll surprise them if we surprise them.
Yeah, we're surprised. Yeah, yeah, for real. We see what's happening, how it goes. You know what I mean?
Um, but other than that, man, let's go next, man.
Oh,
We on 51 wins. That's my new slogan. 51 wins.
man,
Second seed.
51 wins would just be so. It'd be so. I don't know. 51 wins would be amazing for this team.
And if we don't get no awards, I don't care. That just put more chips on everybody's shoulders. You know what I mean? Snub
Yeah.
everybody. Except all NBA. Brunson better get his all NBA. But
Oh yeah, he got to. Ain't no way. There's no
yeah,
way he's not getting All NBA.
don't snub that one. But anything else, you know what I mean?
No way,
Just give us
Brunson.
honorable mentions. Because coach of the year, I think we should be mentioned in there. I think we got some arguments for most improved. You know what I mean? I think we got some arguments for, you know, MVP. Defensive player of the year probably be a little bit tough, but we got defensive player of the year capability on our roster. If you're talking about OG, you talk about Mitch. I mean, you could throw Hartenstein in there. Um, yeah, the future's bright.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Anything you want to add before we get out of here, son?
Nah, not really. I'm just liking what the Knicks are doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the only thing I want to add is that I want Greg. I want Greg. He asked with the channel. No. Channel's not shut down. We was just on there a little while ago, just before we got on Tony's show on Knicks and Bruises. We just did a show. Go check it out. We just talked about the Knicks making the third seed, Mitchell Robinson, Deuce McBride, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart. We talked about a lot of things. So go check it out, Greg.
I
But
like the new picture too, man.
yeah, that's a dope picture. It's a dope picture. I do want to tell Greg, Greg, you got to give it up for Tom Thibodeau. Come on, man. For the Knicks to be in the third seed right now, I know they're just a half game above, but for the Knicks to be in the third seed after the adversity that they've been through this season, the injuries, trades, so on and so forth, got to give it up to them. Got to give it up. Come on, Greg. I just want to see it. I'm saying I just want to see you give it up for him. Is that for Tom Thibodeau? Maybe that's for Tom Thibodeau. Maybe that's for Tom Thibodeau. Maybe that's for Tom Thibodeau. If it's not, we're gonna use it at that. Okay, great. He said he's been better lately with some of the minutes. All right.
Hey, baby steps. Baby
Yeah,
steps.
big baby steps.
But yeah, hit that like button on the way out. Appreciate you guys, man. And yeah, we should be back on schedule.
Yeah, for
You know
real.
what I mean?
No doubt.
Son, appreciate you.
Peace.